Yo, man. Thomas Rusty, everybody. It's Tuesday. Every time I have to think about that, but it's every day is a different day. Every day is the same day, but it's a good day. And today is not unlike those days. I have on uh a guest who is an author, uh podcaster,
Yeah.
and there was more, but I don't want to give away too much because I want to let him speak for himself. So I'm bringing on here now Hezekiah Morris. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing awesome. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. Great,
Cool.
great to be up, drinking this
Yeah.
coffee.
Right. How do you take your coffee?
Cream and sugar.
Yeah, me too. I was doing it. I don't know. I used to just take it just straight, but
Oh
I don't
man,
know. I
that, that-
it's
that was the old way, man. I'm on my grandmother, man. Every morning, black coffee straight,
Yep.
black coffee and sugar. I'm like, oh. Then they come out with all these different flavors and Starbucks kind of flavors, and I'm like, I love coffee now. I want it iced, I want it cold, however it gets
Yeah, coffee all times of the day. Just
me.
yeah, it's a lot different than a lot more options now. So it's kind
Yeah.
of nice. So okay, so right off the bat, okay, so you're I think it said you had written three books, but I think it was three, but
Oh,
I think that could be
six.
okay, it was six. Okay, I was gonna say six, but I don't want to be like, oh, I've only written three. But okay, you've written six books. So how about you tell me about some of those? I saw
Um,
a little bit.
my first book is Restoring Hezekiah, Changing the Generation. That was more or less my autobiography of my life. What got me started writing in the situation that I was in. I was incarcerated at the time, and I never dreamed that I was going to be writing a book or be an author, or anything like that. It was just I had a little time to waste. So I decided, to start writing my life story from the beginning to the end. And by that time, I was released. And I said, well, I might as well publish it. I took 4 months to write it. I might as well publish it. So I published it. Actually, I went and worked a day labor job for $45 a day. And I got it copyrighted before I even started typing it up. And
Oh, okay.
I said, I got to find a publisher. I don't know nothing about writing a book, nothing about putting a book together. So I called this guy. He was in Charlotte, North Carolina at the time. He was like, well, you know what? Send me the book. And if my people like it, we'll give you a call back. I ain't think nothing. I was like, yeah, he just shooting me to, smoke. Wait, call
Sure.
back in 30 minutes. Let's go with it. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Holy shit.
And then the funny thing about this, nobody ever knew, like, I typed my first book up in a day shelter in the computer lab. You was only supposed to use the computer lab. Shout out to the Greensboro RATC, the resource center there. They allowed me to come in instead of using the computer to search for jobs. I got to use the computer to type my book up. They was like, oh, that's like a job search. Go ahead.
Which, yeah, right. I like that a lot. That's really cool of them to do that.
Yeah. So they did it. I typed it up. Then I sent him the manuscript. And lo and behold, my first book was published. Now, the funny thing is, they'll publish the book for you, but you have to be the one to do all the marketing and promoting. And that's what a lot of people don't know. You're like, okay, I got a book, but you got to get people to buy your book. So
Right.
I just hit the concrete, man. One day I was working construction back home. I was like, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. I hate construction. This is not manual labor is not me. Like I got a college degree and all. I'm not gonna be digging no holes and no trenches. So I just got up one morning and was like, all right, I'm gonna move to Philly. And I'm gonna go to New York. I'm gonna be back and forth. And when I got there, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was. It was times where I was homeless. It was times that, I didn't eat at night. It was times that I struggled, but I didn't want to be a failure. I was like, nah, failure is not an option. I'm not going back home. So
Right.
I got book signings at Columbia University, Howard University, Georgetown, Pitt University. I did Georgia Tech University. I was doing all of the universities on the East Coast. I called Penn State. I was like, I want to do a book signing there. I'm in Pennsylvania. Why not? They was like, yeah, we want you to do a book signing, but how about speaking at our spring graduation? I'm like, oh,
Whoa.
whoa, hold on now. I just got a little book here. She's like, yeah, I know, but your story is compelling. Why not speak at the spring graduation? How much do you charge? I'm like, I don't know. And it was funny. It never came into tuition because I ended up moving, but I think I'm gonna do that one day again, contact him and finally do it. But it was amazing to me that this one book was doing all this. And I never thought I'd be writing another one. And then one day I was like, man, I'm doing all this, but I'm still sad because I don't have nobody to share with, and I'm not in a relationship and I'm single. So I just started writing about my next book was about restoring Hezekiah, me and only me. It was about me being single and how, we go through life and we go through relationships. Some we regret and some we don't. And how they always perceive men as being dogs and stuff like that. And I'm like, you never know what we go through as a man emotionally or what we went through. And so I talk about that. And then my third book came about. I was homesick. And I was like, man, I want to go home. Man. I want to see my homeboys. Man, I ain't hung out with them forever. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write a book. And I wrote a book, and it's like a Friday movie. And it tells about all the little stuff that we used to do back home, good or bad, it was all in there. But
Yeah.
it was a great book, man. And from there, I was like, okay, I've gave the world a lot of me. And I was at that burnout stage right there, the third book. I was like, what else can I write about? I've introduced the world to who I am and what I do. And then something that's hit me, all my friends from back home, they was like, yeah, we love your books, but why don't you tell them the freaky zeeky side, which side we want to hear about. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. So I came up with the idea to write a book called The Player in Me. And it's erotica romance, something I've never dealt with before or did before. And lo and behold, wow, it took off. We actually did a movie on the book. we
Oh,
yeah.
well, okay. So
The trailer's on my YouTube channel called The Player.
okay. It's crazy how how is that that takes off, because that was sort of like the same thing with me with hypnosis, like doing all this stuff, and then that, and it's like just fucking shot right off. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So okay, so someone approached you to say, hey, we want to make
actually, this is a funny story. I'm in DC doing a Howard University book signing. So it's that morning, and I got a couple of books with me. So I walk into the barbershop and I say, hey guys, man, I would like to put my books in your barbershop. They was like, man, we don't want that shit in here. That's exactly what they said. And I'm sitting there like, are you serious? Like my whole ego just went like, that was it. I was so mad I stormed out of there, And I walked next door not knowing what was in that building or what was going on in that building. And I asked the lady, I'm like, she was doing a live television show. And she was like, what do you got? I was like, I got a book. Said, well, let me see it. So I'll go over there and show her the book. And she's like, well, just wait right there. I'm gonna put you on TV. I'm like, oh my God. So that was like my first live interview and first live time on television. And from then on, we just kept in touch because she does movies and she produces movies, she directs movies. And so I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm ready to do my first book as a movie. But she just waited and watched. She watched me in my career from like them years on. And then when that book, I wrote The Player in Me came out, she called me. She was like, all right, you ready to do the movie now? I'm like, oh, okay.
whoa.
Yeah.
So then Uh, who who was she? Was it like
Her name is Andre Harris. And she's out of DC and she has her own studio and everything, Andre Harris Productions. And she mentored me. Like, I mean, I was going through and she was just keep pushing. She always gave me little nuggets to get in touch with business people to help me put me in position to grow and to expand and different things that I needed. Like when I started my podcast, she'll throw me different guests, like here, interview them. Here, contact these people out of nowhere, you know. So I was very grateful for that.
that's fun cool. So then so she like kind of sets you because I mean there's I don't know how many guys are there that are writing, or writing is it fiction or is it nonfiction or is
It's,
it kind of a
it's
mixture
both.
of
Yes, it's a mixture of both.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, are there a lot of guys that are writing that or it seems like it's mostly women that are so
Yeah, and it was funny because I was actually dating this person, and I had a decision to make to choose her or to choose my dream and to follow my dream in writing books and stuff. And I did that, and and so for me to give back, I was like, even though I did leave, I still never forgot about you, and I put it in the book, and the story bases around her and how I felt about her and stuff like that. And it's funny. So we
so
reconnected a little bit about that and talked about it. And, hey,
yeah,
maybe one day.
yeah, I was gonna say what became of her. So I mean, is she gonna come back in other books then as
Oh, she's in other books. Yeah.
she's in all of them?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And
So
we
that
talk a lot. We spend time together and everything, But
yeah,
sometimes you gotta have time to heal too, and you gotta have to understand that life moves on with or without you. And I had that choice to make. So
yeah,
you can't put choices on other people to decide what they want out of life too, because everybody grows at different points.
right. And yeah, like if yeah, if she's gonna I don't know if you two are gonna work out or reconnect or wherever it is or whatever happens, like
But we're
the
reconnected.
okay, good. That's gonna be in the next book. That's gonna be in book 7.
Reconnected.
And like so okay, so then that's good. So but then if you would have passed up the writing opportunities, like
I would be where I would be now, right now. I would
and
be
yeah,
where I'm at right now. When I moved, I won author of the year. I
oh
won,
shit.
yeah, I won second runner up in 38 countries for author of the year. Um, I've did multiple magazine covers. I've been nominated every year for author of the year. About 2 weeks ago, I won 2022 Aspirant Authors Magazine Man of the Year. Um,
Whoa. Holy shit.
yeah, I know, right? And it is amazing because like I've only been in the game 5 years. Like this just doesn't happen. But
Yeah,
if you've been through everything I've been through, like, and you put it all into the last 5 years that I've put into this game, it's like he deserves it. Just a
yeah.
little break.
I mean, yeah, it's like 5 years is nothing. Like there's the term the overnight celebrity, but 95% of them they've been grinding for fucking 20
Yes.
years before, just going and going and going, and then something happens. But I mean, yeah, there's usually not that people don't think about there's like, oh, they just came up out of nowhere. But like, yeah, you've had to have lived all those experiences to
Yes.
have gotten to that point that you were at. You didn't just start this stuff just didn't come off the top of your head, like, oh yeah, let's write about this. And so when you're writing, then are you like what do you do? Are you have like a pen and paper? Do you have a
Yes.
typewriter or
I'm pen,
computer?
I'm old school. I'm pen and paper. Then after I put it up, because I think pen and paper, I don't have to worry about. I'm typing and at the same time dealing with oh, I got a backspace, or I got to put a period here or comma here, pen and
Yeah.
paper, my thoughts is just rolling off my mind, and I'm just putting it down, and I'm like, okay, I can do this, and then I would type it up, because I did take typing in high school, so I can type pretty good, even though I hated it, because I was
Yeah.
good. I thought I was good, so it was like, all right, I can do this. So basically, I try to do everything myself, and then I send it over to the editor and let them look it over. And what was it? Last year, I actually published my first book on my own. I publish books now, so
So you publish for other people then now too?
I do. Yes, I do. I've learned how to do video commercials, book trailers, all that on my own now. Like I do basically everything is on my own now.
So, okay, so then, let's see. So if
Like probably
someone
when we
was
get off this podcast, I'm gonna make a video of us and our podcast that we're doing right now.
cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you use whatever you want from this. I'll send you the, I mean, you can rip it from whatever. I can send you the raw video if you want that too. And yeah, I mean, that's the good part about this too. It's just it's I don't know, because yeah, like I mean, so like when you're writing that, how much of it, like how many revisions are you doing? Is it just like, because with the pen and paper, you don't have much of a filter as if you would if you were thinking about
Oh,
typing it, same thing.
that's the best part about it though, because you don't want to have to do revisions. You don't want to have to keep watering it down. When you're writing it, you're giving it just how you're thinking it. So they're getting the raw version of what you're thinking. It's not watered down. It's like they're getting it straight off your head. And that's how I like it. I don't want to keep having to go back and change. Oh, this doesn't sound good. Or no, I'm gonna give it to you just how it comes for me. And I think that's what's God given. That was God given, because I give it to him just how I was thinking about it. And that's what makes me a different kind of writer, I think. And that's what makes John Grisham and all the other good writers, I think, that are more they're coming off their head. They're just not making up a story. They're
Yeah,
actually thinking about what they're writing. Besides talking about, oh, I'm just going to write a story and give it to them. No, I don't want to do that.
yeah. So then is your podcast in the same way? Is it just
Yes, unscripted.
unscripted? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I that's what I like. I feel like it might not be all as just like boom, 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 just
Yeah.
one thing after another, but you get, let's say if it's like a straight level of, like a book would have.
And
But what
I
go ahead.
actually, like, my podcast got nominated for Internet Radio Show of the Year last year.
Oh shit.
And and it was crazy, because it was like, man, I needed to take a break too, because it was like going on in a year. Then I started working a full-time job, and it was interfering with my times that I had to show up to. And it was just whew. So this year I took a break. I took a break about last year, about the middle of the year. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna start it up sometime this year. Once I get into a regular schedule where I know I can have time to, because like I was doing everything like flyers, videos, screening, then getting the guests, and it's people that think it's easy to, oh, you just got to pop. No, you got to do
Yeah.
some homework.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot more that goes into it than just you know, and especially, I mean, if you're into, I mean, luckily we don't have to edit very much,
Yes.
which, and yeah, I mean, but with that, like, what I was gonna get at was like with the being just, with the edit and stuff, you don't really get that. But with the live one, you might get some parts that aren't quite as engaging as what the baseline would be. But then you get parts where you're just like, you're on it and you get nothing you could have got with that edited down version. Or, like if you're talking to an audience, if you're reading a script and just going off that, as opposed to seeing the people out there and looking at someone and seeing that they're really connected with what you're saying and understanding. And I mean, you can't write that out beforehand. And it's just it's just feeling out the crowd.
Oh
and
man,
feel yeah.
it was fun though. I used to have everybody on there. I didn't care if you was authors or what. And we had entertainers, hip hop artists, everything, movie stars.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just so is your podcast then I mean what's the format? Is it sort of like is it
it's,
just
it's called the Authors Lounge,
uh-huh.
but it was like there was no format. We have an introduction, then we just go where we talk to the guests and come on, sing, do whatever you do that you have talent to do, and it's just
Cool.
for you, and it won't
Yeah.
lie. That's the thing. It wasn't live, so you could be at home and not be it's not on camera, so you just be at home sitting in your living room enjoying it, like, hey, I'm gonna be drinking a cup of wine right here while I'm talking to this guy that I don't see.
Yeah. Makes it easy. And so you're on a break with that one right now, right? Is what you
Yes,
said? Okay.
because I'm now in an enterprise with HTA Enterprises. This lady, she's always pushed me. Even when I don't feel like doing nothing, she's always pushed me. Come on,
It's a
Hezzy,
good
we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something. Let's do this. Let's do this. So now we got it's called HTA Enterprises, and we got six ladies right now, and we are introducing them to podcasting, and they have their own podcast show, and it's called the Crew Podcast. So we train them on how to do podcast show. Now they got their own podcast show. So now we're helping push them and branding them and publishing them. So that's where all my all my little work is going into right now.
so you have a whole broadcasting network
Yeah.
basically now, as well as the many other things that you're doing.
Yes.
And holy shit. Okay. So you maybe you sleep sometime in there.
Yeah.
Um
I go to work and then I come home. It's like, uh-oh, then we got another full-time job. Hezzy, I need videos. I need
yeah,
flyers. I need this. So
yeah. Yeah, it's go, 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 go,
Mhm.
go. And I mean that's the way we do it. And
But what I'm looking forward to is one day I don't have to get up and go to work, that I can do this full time.
yeah. And yeah, especially if you have I mean with everything that you have set up and it sounds like they're starting to come together as just one big
It is
project with
and it's so funny. Everybody's like, oh man, we see what you're doing. You must be rich now. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay.
yeah, those internet dollars don't always equate to too
Right.
much, you know.
Tell Facebook to give me $4 a month for my reels that got 1 million views. Thank you, Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, $4. That's not yeah, not quite the payment it's looking for, and but that's what's doing to be able to go and get the exposure and what's the exposure worth and um yeah, it's kind of a weird way to do it,
Yeah.
but still it's at least going with something someone is offering it, but like yeah, it's so then like with your podcast, I mean what did you have, was it, were you getting the money off of the
Nope, it was free.
it's free, okay, yeah, just yeah, no sponsors or anything, or
Nope.
just
But I was I was getting ready to start my own show and get my own little sponsors, go live in the studio. And then another business opportunity came for me to build another podcast, which was aired on YouTube, which was paying. So I just switched over and I started doing that. And now I'm still doing that. So it's like, well, I ain't got time for my show now.
yeah,
And then another business opportunity came for me to link up with some people. It's like, well, maybe I need to take a break and just step back into the background a little bit, help somebody else, do something, then come back. But everybody's like, Hezzy, we want your show back. When does it come? I'm like, it's coming. Let's give me time. I want to sit back in the background a little bit and,
yeah,
see if I can have my creative juices, learn from everybody else to how to succeed a little more, how to get to the next level a little more, pick
yeah,
people's brain, sit back and look and see what they're doing.
which is overlooked a lot by a lot of people. I mean, there's not a lot of people just keeping mouth shut and your ears and eyes open, and it's and then plus you don't want to be doing your show when you're burned out. I've done shows where I'm burned out and I'm just like, well, here we fucking are again. We're doing this bullshit here. Okay, let's have
Yeah.
fun. Okay, hey, here we are
Yeah.
back having this show that I fucking hate. But yeah.
And
So
then for
yeah,
me, it was like I was working 12 hours a day. Then I got an hour to get home, and then I got to do this show. And I'm like, I'm not feeling this right now.
yeah. Yeah, then yeah, you shouldn't be doing. There's no reason to do that. And I mean, in the long term, the people who are your fans are going to understand. And you know, I don't know, because yeah, like sometimes I watch YouTube shows or channels, and I'm like, man, when's this fucking show gonna come out? When are they gonna release another episode? What are they fucking they just. But then it's like, I mean, they're real people. They fucking get burned out. They don't.
And if we get sponsors that want to pay us 500,000 a year or 20,000 a year, hey, I give you full time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, that one happens, and that'll be all right. Then it's like, okay,
Mhm.
well, yeah, I guess. And then, yeah, you can kind of back off from some other projects and,
Sit
get
at home
working.
and work on the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Man, that'd be a fucking crazy life right there.
You're right. Have
Just like,
different kind of coffee sitting on the table or whatever I'm going to be sponsored.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm working at. I'm working at getting a coffee sponsor. I'm trying for. That's gonna be I think the first one that I need is a good coffee sponsor. So at least get some bags of coffee or something, or something ready to go. And okay, yeah, this is brought to you by them. But so okay, so let's see. So there's a lot of ways people can find you. So they have your books. They can go back and listen to your podcast. They can check out the people you're mentoring now. They can check out your videos on YouTube. They can hire you as a speaker. They can have you come sign books. I mean, so if they're gonna find you, where are they gonna find you?
Everybody likes Linktree, but Linktree is okay. But I like telling people where they can find me because people are like, oh, I'm not going to do no Linktree. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm old school too. Like, all right, you can do Linktree, but Linktree is not telling me nothing. But
Right.
they can email me for anything in events, podcasting at Hez Morse, HEZMOR 8522 at gmail.com.
HEZ
MOR
MOR
8522
8522 at
at
Gmail.
gmail.com.
Okay.
They can find me on Instagram as Arthur Hezzy, AUTHORHEZZY.
All right.
TikTok as Has More 8522.
HEZMOR 852 on TikTok.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Twitter as Morris _ Hezekiah. Facebook at Too Legit to Quit. MC Hammer's old thing, Too Legit.
Yeah. Oh man, that's bringing me back, man. Okay, so and then so they can find anything you need off that.
My
Then yeah, if
books,
they can just
on Barnes and Nobles.
cool. Okay, so yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not a hard man to find, so that's good. Okay, well, cool. Well, so yeah, yeah, thanks again for coming on, Hezekiah. It was awesome meeting you, and yeah, I'll get this out to you in like an hour. I'll send you the whatever it's the Spotify thing, so you can, because with the Spotify app you can watch the video. Everywhere else that you get podcasts, you can listen to the podcast. But then yeah, I'll send you like I'll try to send the file of the video to your Gmail thing here and get that to
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you bet. And yeah,
I
everyone
enjoyed
else
this
out.
I enjoyed this
Oh,
conversation.
yeah, me too. It was nice meeting you. I liked it. And we'll talk again sometime. And yeah, and everyone else, thank you for listening.
Maybe when I get my podcast back up and when I can invite you on my show.
Absolutely 100%. I will do that.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, thank you. And everybody else, that is the show, man.